The night air felt heavier than usual. A strange stillness wrapped itself around the street. Even the breeze seemed to hold its breath. I walked slowly toward my apartment. My footsteps echoed like faint warnings on the pavement. A dim orange glow came from the single streetlight above. Its light flickered as if unsure whether to stay alive. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A tight knot formed in my stomach before I even checked it. Some part of me already knew it would not be good. The message glowed on the screen. A single line, cold, sharp. It said that the thing I thought I had hidden was no longer hidden. I stopped walking. The world seemed to tilt by a small degree. My throat felt dry as dust. A deep ringing filled my ears. Not loud, just persistent, as if something inside me had been struck. I tried to breathe slowly, but my breath came in shallow waves. My fingers trembled. The streetlight above flickered again, this time staying off a moment too long. I looked around. The road behind me empty. The windows around me dark. A faint smell of damp concrete rose from the ground, mixed with the metallic scent of the cold night. Then a second message appeared. 3 more words. A warning, a promise, a threat. I felt the weight of my mistake settle on my shoulders. Thick, heavy, unforgiving. I forced my legs to move. One step, then another, my mind racing faster than my feet. I replayed the moment that started all this. The choice I should never have made. The truth I should never have touched. And now someone else knew. Someone who was not supposed to know. My chest tightened. The shadows along the walls seemed deeper. Alive. Watching. I kept walking toward my building. The entrance looked darker than usual. As if the night itself had gathered there. Waiting for me. Just as I reached the door. A soft sound came from behind me. Not loud. Not clear. But close enough to raise every hair on my skin. I turned slowly, my heart beating so hard I could feel it against my ribs. And there, a few steps away, stood a figure that should not have been there at all. Figure was shadowed. Hidden under a hood, its face invisible, but I could feel eyes piercing through me. A cold shiver ran down my spine. My palms were clammy, my knees felt weak. I realized I could not move. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. The street seemed to shrink. Walls pressing in. The light above flickered and threatened to go out completely. The silence was suffocating. I could hear the blood pounding in my ears. The quick, ragged rhythm of my heartbeat. Then the figure moved. Slowly, deliberately. Every step measured. Every movement deliberate. Like a predator testing its prey. I stumbled back toward the door. Fumbling with my keys. The metal clanged against the lock. My hands were shaking too much to fit the key in the hole properly. A dry, raspy voice broke the silence. It said my name, my full name. The sound sent waves of fear through me. It sounded close, and impossibly far. I finally managed to unlock the door. Pushed it open, slamming it behind me with more force than necessary. The hallway smelled of old carpet and dust. It should have been safe. But the air felt thick, as if my mistake had followed me inside. I leaned against the wall, trying to catch my breath, my heart refusing to slow down, my eyes darting to every shadow, every corner of the dimly lit hallway. Then the sound came again, a soft, deliberate tapping, like fingers brushing against the floor. It echoed in the narrow corridor. I could not tell where it came from. I remembered the moment that started everything. How I had trusted the wrong person, shared the wrong secret, opened the wrong door, and how that one decision had shattered everything I thought I had. The walls seemed closer now, the shadows darker, the tapping louder. I pressed myself against the wall, hoping that somehow hiding would make it stop, hoping that maybe I could disappear. And then I heard it clearly, a whisper right next to my ear. It repeated my mistake. The words I had tried to bury for months. The truth I had hoped would stay hidden. My stomach turned, my vision blurred, my body trembled uncontrollably, every nerve screaming. I wanted to run, I wanted to disappear, but my legs would not respond. My mind frozen by the realization that nothing I could do now would undo what had been done. The figure stepped into the faint light, just enough for me to see. Tall, silent, and impossible to ignore. The presence filled the hallway. pressing against me, suffocating. A single step, and I knew there was no escape, no hiding, no second chance. The tapping stopped, replaced by silence, a silence so loud it was deafening. I could feel it press against my chest, against my skull, against my very being. Then the figure moved closer. The air grew colder, my breath became visible, and I realized I had underestimated the consequences of my mistake. I had thought I could fix it, or hide it, or escape it, but now I knew this was a mistake that cost me everything, and there was no turning back. I closed my eyes, hoping it was a nightmare, hoping when I opened them, I would be alone, safe. When I opened them, the figure was gone, but the feeling remained, heavy, relentless, unforgiving, and I knew it was only the beginning. The night had not ended. My mistake had not ended. Everything I had taken for granted was gone, and there was no way to bring it back. I sank to the floor, my back against the wall. Every sound in the building amplified. The creak of pipes, the rustle of the wind outside, the faint hum of a distant light. It all screamed at me, reminded me of my failure, of the cost of one wrong choice. I had thought I was careful. I had thought I was smart. I had thought I could control everything. But I was wrong, and now the price was clear. A single message, a single choice, a single moment, and it had taken everything from me. I stayed on the floor, breathing shallow, listening, waiting, every sense alert, every nerve straining. Minutes passed, hours felt like minutes. The weight in the hallway pressed on me. I felt trapped, alone, and utterly exposed. Then I heard it, a soft scraping sound, from the other side of the apartment door. Slow, deliberate, and unmistakable. I forced myself to rise, every movement heavy with fear, my legs quivering, my fingers pressed against the wall for balance. The scraping stopped, and silence returned, thicker this time, denser, like a physical presence pressing in from all sides. I took a cautious step forward, then another. The apartment felt unfamiliar, shadows shifted, furniture seemed alien, even the air smelled different, a reminder that my world had changed forever. Then I noticed something on the floor, a small envelope, white, unmarked, sitting innocently in the dim light. I picked it up, my hands trembling. The paper was cold, rigid, unyielding. Inside was a single photograph. It was me, from a time before the mistake. Smiling, happy, oblivious. On the back of the photograph, a single sentence written in sharp, deliberate handwriting. It said, "Everything has a cost." A shiver ran through me. I dropped the photo. It fluttered to the floor like a wounded bird. I realized then, it was not just a warning. It was a statement, a judgment, a reckoning. I sank to the floor again. Not from fear, not from exhaustion, but from the heavy truth settling in. I had lost more than possessions, more than comfort, more than security. I had lost the illusion of control. I had lost the belief that my choices would never come back to haunt me. The apartment was quiet now, still, safe for the moment, but the shadow remained, not in shape, not in form, but in the knowledge that my life would never be the same. I understood then, mistakes are not just moments. They are echoes, ripples that spread farther than we ever imagine. And sometimes, they reach us when we least expect. I rose slowly, each step deliberate, each breath a reminder of what I had lost, and what I had to live with. From this day forward, the night outside had not changed. The street lights still flickered, the wind still whispered, but inside, I was different, forever aware, forever cautious, forever carrying the cost of one single mistake. I closed my eyes, and for the first time, I accepted it. I had nothing, and yet, I had to continue. The story of that night would remain with me, like a shadow, following every step, every choice, every moment, and I knew I could never forget the mistake that cost me everything.